Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Gonna do something slightly different for the patch this time. Basically what I'm gonna do is, instead of just doing a post-commentated thing where I just describe what happened, let's actually do a bit of a playthrough and see what happens. So I've just logged in. I have already been inside, but it was a little bit of a disaster and I only saw the start. So instead we're just gonna play through here, see what happens. Basically there's a bunch of new fractals that have been added to the game. There's been rebalances. There'll be a link in the description for a video on my channel that goes over a little bit more detail on exactly what they've done. But we're gonna go in and see what the brand new fractal, based on the Anomaly Reactor, is like. This is the one that we voted for a few months ago, and I'm kind of hoping that it's really, I don't know, because if it's really high quality, then I'm going to regret that we didn't get to see the Abaddon fractal, but if it's really low quality, then I'm going to be happy because it will be like we kind of dodged a bullet. So we will see what happens. I'm actually just going to use the LFG tool and find myself a party, so let's do that. Now, what's going to happen here is basically ArenaNet added this fractal as a part of the regular rotations, but also the very first time we go in for this current Living World update, we will be able to like jump straight into a story mode version of it, and this ensures that everybody gets to experience the new fractal without having to rely on, you know, the luck of the draw. At the same time too, we've got a bunch of new stuff here in the Living World category for achievements here. Fractured. By the way, got my World vs. World. Very happy with that. So we got Fractured. You notice Nightmares Within and Tower of Nightmares are still going on, because really this is very little to do with the actual Living Story stuff to do with Scarlet. It's just Ellen Keel coming forward on her promise. But there are a bunch of achievements. Apparently they're quite easy to get at the moment. You know, most of them just rely on basically playing through the fractals again. You know, complete Snowblind, for example, and so forth. And the reward at the end, actually, you get this chest here. Can we mouse over it? That gives you a horde of ascended materials. 1 Imperial Star, 1 Dragonite Ingot, and a Bloodstone Brick. They said on their live stream that apparently these were the mats that people would really be looking for, so hopefully people are happy with that. It should be interesting enough. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys once we've got our full party from LFG. On my last little time, we got these people very, very quickly. I'm just going to jump in, and basically there's a lot of voice acting, and I'm hoping that the people in my party don't skip forward. Alright, here we go. So, I have asked them as nicely as I can, because my other group was just rushing it like mad. And I was stopping to, like, try and read chat, and it was just terrible. It wasn't working at all. So, Fractals of the Mist, we're going to have a conversation here between Ellen Keel, who funded the development of this fractal, and Dessa, who's been working here for a long time.
I'm not tampering. I'm commandeering. We need this machinery to investigate the Anomaly Reactor disaster.
Disaster? My friends there never mentioned any disaster. Besides, it would take an expert to isolate a specific...
That's where you come in. I direct, you calibrate. Unless you want to get hauled off to a Lion Guard brig.
No. Unacceptable. I cannot abandon my work. I will not.
Then you'd better get busy. And don't worry about your consortium bosses. I'll force secure their compliance later.
Anomaly disaster, isolated. Breeding massive energy spikes.
Fast as the
temporal
wind.
distortion. I hope you know what you're doing.
Dessa sure is dedicated. Suspiciously so. I mean, did you see her face when I told her I'd haul her in? She looked like her whole world was ending. I'll never understand how the consortium inspires such loyalty. But it means we can't trust her. I'm staying behind to make sure no one fiddles with the machinery once we're underway. Sorry to abandon you, but Magnus made it clear. The Arch can't afford to lose any more counselors. However, if I understand it right, I can monitor you once you're in. I'll be in touch every step of the way. And I promise you, as a member of the Captain's Council, do this for me, and it'll absolutely be worth your while.
So, at this point, they still haven't revealed why Ellen Keel cares so much about this reactor. Very curious, though, and I love that we're getting a little bit more on the consortium, too. Because Dessa's always seemed cool. This is the woman that's always talking to you when you're in the fractals. Also, a really fascinating thing that I love that they're doing here is there's always been this idea that Dessa doesn't understand what's going on in the present time. She's been working in these fractals, and due to these weird time dilation things, she doesn't understand the present day. Like, she doesn't know what a Sylvari is. And they're continuing that story here. Here she's talking about the fact that she knows what the Anomaly Reactor is, but she says straight away, what do you mean a disaster? I've never heard of a disaster. Very, very cool, and my allies have gone in, so at least they let us see this first. So anyway, now that we're in, they're going to keep talking.
Not unusual. It isn't. If you were qualified, you'd know gross corporeal reassignment is a potential side effect of fractal insertion.
Fascinating. But according to the schematics,
The reactor core is nearby.
we need to access the console and take a sample. Very well. With random monsters teleporting in and off-the-charts energy readings, I advise making a shortcut. There should be
Explosive units nearby.
Use one to breach the wall, and you'll have much
Easier access.
Refreshing.
Our signal is too weak.
temporal drift left you long past the target time. Nothing we can do now but press on.
Okay, so in a very cool way, we now get Ellen and Dessa speaking to us as time goes by. I quite enjoy that. So, you know, usually it's just Dessa speaking. Hopefully we'll get to hear them bicker somewhat. And, of course, Ellen's kind of new to the whole experience. We already know. So here, of course, the idea is we are a bunch of Inquest that are going through the facility. As it seemed from what we understood before this patch was the reason that this explosion had occurred. It had something to do with the Inquest. But we are basically playing as those Inquest. So that's very cool. We're seeing how history played out. And this is not new to the Fractals. We saw this with the Char Fractal. Well, wait, is it called the Urban Fractal, I think? The one where you're in Ascalon, you get to play as Char, basically. And I like there that Ellen is, you know, somewhat surprised. Anyway, so this is the Reactor. And again, I haven't seen very much of this so far, but I have seen this at the very least. Looks pretty crazy, very... I don't know why, but that big thing up in the top center very much reminds me of Star Wars. I don't know. It looks like a big ship of some kind. But I don't know really what we're meant to be seeing here, because we've been to the Reactor before, correct? Oh, I don't have my bomb kit equipped. That could be bad. We've been to the Reactor before, and it didn't look anything like this. It was, well, I don't really need to describe to you guys how it looked. So I wonder why it is so different right now, and not in kind of a pre-destruction way. It's just a radically different, you know, architecturally place. And maybe that's just them taking, you know, artistic liberties with it, or maybe you can explain that after the disaster, lots of stuff was reshuffled or realigned, because whatever's going to happen at the end of this fractal, we know there's going to be a big explosion. And already, you know, enemies are teleporting in from all over the world, as they've described here. What's my party doing over here? Stacking might and stuff? We already know that enemies seem to be teleporting in all over the place. And that's curious to me straight away, because it always struck me that this weird, you know, teleportation of creatures only came about as a result of the disaster. But I guess we are sort of already well underway. I always thought this fractal was going to start with the disaster, you know, before the disaster. And we'd get to see what led up to it. But no, apparently we're in the thick of it already. Makes me a little bit worried, I guess, because as I said, this is pretty much blind at the moment. I don't know how many answers we're going to get. Makes me a little bit worried we won't get too many, though, since we're already at a point where things are going wrong. And we don't know why. If anything, it actually looks like the Inquest are here to try and clean up. Very curious. And, of course, we're in the past, but not the real past. This is just a mirror, a reflection, a preservation of the past. And whatever we do here, we don't actually change the timeline. We're just viewing it. It's like a picture. I watched that Doctor Who special recently, so that's the analogy I'm going with. It's like a slice of time through which we're looking at. But here, okay, so I guess our current objective is just kill a bunch of the enemies that we find around here. They all have that cool disoriented buff on them, ripped from its home by the unstable magic of the reactor. That's cool, actually. I like that the devs have just basically nicked that exact buff that you see in some of the more curious places around Tyria, like the crystal cave that you see in the Blaze Ridge Steppes, or the swamp that you find in the Brisbane Wildlands. Very, very cool. And it looks like once we've killed them, we basically deactivate this terminal.
You can't get the core sample you need right now. The reactor's too hot.
You need to cool it down.
I say disable the colliders in the adjacent lab and stop them from bombarding the core with high magic particles.
That'll buy you time.
Time to get the sample and keep more of those researchers alive long enough to talk to them.
So Ellen's looking for a sample. A sample of what? What's her agenda? Like, you know, they're throwing the consortium at us like this boogeyman at the moment. Oh, you know, don't trust Dessa. The consortium are the bad guys. What is... And I definitely do not mean to harp on at this stupid... Oh, Ellen Keel's evil. I don't think for a second Ellen Keel's evil. But I am curious why she cares about the reactor. And they sort of haven't given us that. Or even why the inquest here. Why do we care about the reactor? What are we doing? Can we speak to these guys? There's a wounded dude here. That's actually pretty cool to see. I'm playing my NG, by the way, because, I don't know, I've been enjoying my NG a lot recently. I went for my World vs. World meta, as I explained. Did it mostly on my NG. My NG's almost rank 100 in World vs. World. I'm sort of close-ish. I'm about to get this. I'm sort of close to finally getting my applied fortitude. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun on my NG, and NG's always been fun to play in PvE because mobs don't move, so you can just stack tons of consies up. What is going on in here?
Yes, the experiment will probably kill you, but it will also advance the Inquest's march toward total world domination. Subject 6 is nearly ready. Now, pipe down and take your medicine. Some of us intend to survive this fiasco.
Watch it. Subject 6 is loose. I don't know exactly what that thing is, but it looks nasty.
This is quite cool, actually. It's quite reminiscent. I wonder how many interesting mechanics it's got. Quite reminiscent of, again, Citadel of Eternity. Crucible of Eternity. Why do I always say Citadel? I'm always mix the two up. Quite reminiscent because he's, you know, he's a subject, and of course in there we had Subject Alpha and various subjects and stuff as we went forward. And the rooms look quite similar too as well. I mean, how different can an Inquest lab look? Wow, what one-shot me? That's curious. Okay, guys, I may cut a huge chunk of this out. Basically, if everybody dies in this dungeon, you're screwed. Like, there's no way to leave the instance. There's, it must be a bug. I can't imagine how it would get through Q&A, but it must be a bug. It seems absolutely unbelievable that they would let everybody die. There's no way to waypoint. Like, you're just completely screwed. Oh my god. He's already nuking me again. So, we just remained dead on the floor for a very long period of time until people used revive orbs and managed to get themselves up. This may see a patch by the time this video's even come out, so it might be pointless me even saying something like this. But yeah, pretty ridiculous and a pretty weird state for the Fractal to release in, especially if unintended. If intended, like, there's no way to even leave the instance, so I would just say it's a bizarre design choice. But what the laying around on the floor did give us an opportunity to do was figure out sort of what exactly is going on with this fight. The reason why we all got one shot was because these ooze are headed towards Champion Subject 6, and when they move next to him, basically they inflict heavy AoE damage across the board. So it's a simple matter of focusing the ads, basically. You can CC them, you can kite the boss himself around the room, so this ooze over here I'm going to hopefully pull back, like so. Didn't work at all, curious. So maybe you can't use all types of CC. But yeah, that's basically the idea behind this fight. He's got this overload mechanic. As he gets hit, it charges up. I think while he's blocking, at least it charges. And it inflicts damage of some kind. He's got a big AoE ability, but since I'm 1500 range, I'm generally okay. I think it only hits maybe 1200 range, if that. So we've got a bunch more oozes, always focus them, I guess. And he also has a couple of other small things as well, like he, I'm not sure how they are applied to you, but he definitely has debuffs that mean you do less damage and you take more damage while fighting him. This ooze isn't looking very safe to me. Can we pull him away? He does get pulled. Basically, he's like Dotliak. Those oozes act like Dotliaks in World vs. World, in that you can't, like, heavy snare them, but hey, we should be fine. And let's kill this ooze here as well as quickly as I can, or even just focusing them with CC abilities, it should be enough. So here, oh, for a second there you could have seen that I had a debuff on me. The other thing I was saying when I was in the room, this might not have been cut, I'm really not sure, but the other thing I was saying is how reminiscent this like chamber is to me of the COE stuff, and I wonder whether there's going to be any more like explicit references to that. This big AoE attack's kind of cool because I don't know, it looks very pretty, but it's not, like, actually that dangerous. Most red rings in Guild Wars 2 I tend to find will absolutely one-shot you. We're not on a particularly low fractal. I'm not sure. We're one in the 20s range. Here you go. So I got 13 of those debuffs on me. Corrode weapon. Crap, I got downed. It's okay, though, because Subject 6 is pretty low. I guess we weren't doing too well on the users there because I got too distracted myself. I know I wasn't focusing them. I might get defeated if we're not careful. Oh, Major Mistletoe is a genius, amazing person for keeping me up here. Oh god, there's another ooze about to hit us. That means more AoE damage. So the AoE packets hit me very hard, like 6k each, and when we all got nuked at the start, that was like 4 packets of it straight away, so. But there we go! That's the champion down. We get a slime-covered strong box. That's pretty cool because slime-covered boxes, they drop Karka weapons, which at least when the boxes first came out were worth a lot of money, so I'm quite happy with that. Do I want to roll the dice? Why not? Let's see what we get. Nothing. Oh well. Okay, so I guess the idea is we've got actually an opportunity which ones we want to go to first. We're going to these colliders.
Shut down more colliders before you can extract a core sample.
Yep, so that Ellen Keel can get a sample. Oh, and here's a cooling rod. Pick up cooling rod. I guess we want to use this in the center of the room. Oh, look, a nightmare hound. That's very cool. Yeah. And we have to be very careful. Again, I don't know, is it intended? Maybe it's only a story mode thing. Maybe they implemented that as a mechanic of story mode. You have to get through, like, permadeath. I actually think that's a really cool idea, and I'd love to see more of that in Guild Wars 2. I really like the idea of death having some serious permanence. And I guess maybe that's a little bit like what we saw in the first game too, actually. That, you know, if your party wiped, it was game over, you were kicked out, and it was very punishing. And I don't know, I can imagine people getting very tired of it. It was particularly annoying in the first game as well when you were doing, like, an escort mission, and the person you're escorting, because of buggy AI, just runs off and gets themselves instantly killed. Cough, Prince Rurik, cough. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. And then your entire party wipes, and that was very commonplace for the first game. I had to drop the cooling rod. Yeah, it's still here. No, it's not. Oh, okay, no, someone else picked up. That's fine. Yes, Zachary, you have a cooling rod. I don't know why. You probably want it for the center. I like that it's a cooling rod because it's very, you know, much like a nuclear reactor. But the thing is, like, just the architecture's so different. What are we even meant to be looking at? Is this what it was originally like? And I love the idea that the explosion just molded time and space in such a way that instead of creating a wreckage like a conventional explosion would, instead it just created this bizarre anomaly of an area of the world. Because if you think about the Thormanova reactor, one of those rooms, one of those chambers off in the side is like the water one, and in that area you can see like fish swimming about in the sky. Like, it's all very, very curious and weird there. And obviously there's all these ideas of where they're acting bizarrely. Look at these flashing lights. Have we seen these anywhere else in Guild Wars 2? Are they entirely new assets? Dessa was just speaking there as well. Unfortunately, I might miss it every time she speaks, and I might not be able to play her voice every time.
Just make sure to let it cool between blasts.
But she's saying that a shield should absorb some beams here. Okay, a safety shield, right. Got it. Okay, I've got a skill here. Absorb, block attacks. Oh, this isn't going to be good if we get wrecked here. Because if we die, it's so punishing. Go, 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 go. Oh, look at this. Oh, so it properly absorbs attacks, and I get to use a repulsor bolt. Do I get to use it on the golem? Oh, that was just like an AoE on my location. Curious. Okay, let me just drop my healing turret. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that is not good. Okay, I'm very, very concerned at the moment. Do we just need to get through the maze? Is this what we're doing? Is this just a maze area? Well, this is certainly not the way through. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm down, and this doesn't look very pleasant. Okay, I'm using a revive orb. Okay, so, we've determined some stuff. That all the cuts are going to be lovely in this. So, these things are constantly firing across. You get a shield that allows you to block, but it also applies an overheated debuff on you rather, that slowly drains your health down. However, basically, if you navigate the maze, you can dodge roll these things, I think, anyway. There's a certain timing to them. There's a couple of buttons in this region, and by pressing them, some of my teammates are pressing them right now, which is lowering this force field. And I'm going to try and get behind there and press the button in there. But we only have one person left alive, and I'm actually going to be dead in a single hit if these things catch me off guard. Oh my god, that was so close. Wow. Alright, okay, so there are safe positions, as you can see here. I look very cool as an Inquest. Right. So basically I just need to learn how to move about in here so that I don't get one shot, which is really going to suck because my FPS is so low. But here we go. I'm going to make for that force field. And it doesn't seem to be going down, so I guess he's spamming the button. There we go, right. Yeah, you can dodge roll. I've got my safety shield. Sweet, got the button. Let's press it and see what happens. It has a time limit on it. Yeah, so this is going to be lowering another field elsewhere in the maze. But unfortunately, all of our friends are dead at the moment, so this could be the end. Oh, there is another button, though, at the same time, too. Oh, my god. Okay, oh, no. Okay, so there's another button too that kicks you straight out of the maze. So that's a bit of a disaster for the situation we're in. Yeah, that guy's going to have to go back and I have to get to where I just was safely again. Which is just terrifying to me. But this is a safe spot. I guess this is one of those places where if you just take your time, you'll actually be alright. Because that wasn't so bad. KK, I'm ready. Just take your time. Right, okay, he's opened that up. So let's go for it. In we go. And now I will spam this console. See? If you guys are watching this and you haven't played it, you get to know what's going on without having to figure out. I actually think this is so fun. And in the age of the internet, you miss out on this a lot. Because, and not that it's a bad service at all, but because, you know, stuff like Delphi exists, it's so easy to just read a guide on what to do. And you miss out on a lot of what I think made challenging games challenging. Historically. There we go. Sweet. So, actually, I think we're done with this section now. So, basically, I think he found 2 buttons that were meant to be pushed at the same time. It immobilized him so he wasn't meant to be able to, but he cleansed it. It's sort of like what happens in the Harpy Fractal at that one bit with the big long ramp. So, now we have to resurrect everyone. Alright, so this will be wonderful. I just got to find a safe spot. So, and I've also got to press this button so I can get out safely. And I will catch you guys once we are fully rezzed up and ready to hit the next room. Okay, so as you guys can see as well, for reference's sake, I don't know again whether I'm going to leave this in. These lightning bolts, you're actually safe in if you stand like directly between them. I'm wondering if you hug the wall, you're safe, but judging from my allies' bodies, I would say that's a no-show. And there we go. Hello, everybody. We're back. That took a long time. I managed to get everyone up in the end with a cool little revive orb. Oh, is the room... No, okay. I thought for a second that the room was changing on repeat. Oh, wouldn't that be crazy? Every time you come back in, like, the entire architecture was changing as a result of the explosion. That would be insane. But no, that room was pretty dire. It wouldn't actually be that bad if everyone knew what they were doing, and I'm sure it would be laughable to die in there after a while. Definitely there's a certain timing. There's a lot more safe spots in there than you'd expect.
Say my work here is done. Sorry about all the death, and for the portal pandemonium. I told the Inquest chaos energy was a misnomer. Mind you, dragon energy is tricky, so I can see how they flubbed it. At least they helped identify the network of magical channels that crisscrosses the globe. That was a breakthrough. Now we know how not to do this kind of research right on an intersection of those channels. Live and learn, right? That's progress. Hooray for progress! But it's getting a bit too deadly in here for me. Bye now.
Wow, okay, so Scarlet was behind this. I know some people will be disappointed about that, some people will be happy about that. What she's talking about here, though, is the energies the Inquest are trying to research.
Facility are becoming something. It's an anomaly I can't explain.
I don't know if that anomaly is intelligent, but it's definitely hostile. And the only way out
It's past it. Old meltdown is moments away.
is have to get by that thing and fast.
If it doesn't kill you, the radiation will.
Oh god, are we gonna have a timed thing in a second? Oh, look, there is. There's an anomaly above us now. Interesting. Okay, well, we've still got another friggin' collider to do, so I guess we'll go to that first. Okay, what Scarlet is talking about... Oh, no, hold on. Click the console. Okay, sorry. Wow, but there was one more. So we only had to do 2 colliders? Or we kill this and then we have to keep going? What she's talking about is the ley lines that carry the magic around Tyria. If you are a member of the Order of Whispers and you've seen that big globe in there's a lot of speculation that those lines you see on that globe are these magical ley lines. The idea of the Elder Dragons being that slowly these fill up and fill up and fill up with magic on Tyria, and eventually they sort of would overwhelm the world, but the Elder Dragons are waking up to consume them periodically. Is that reflecting projectiles? Is he immune to damage? Not, apparently not. So Scarlet's saying that the Inquest were doing research into this. Okay, he kind of hurt me there. I don't really know whether I could have dodged that. The Inquest were doing that, but this facility's built on where some of those ley lines intersect, which is what caused this huge explosion. Interesting. I'm not sure what she means by the relationship between chaos magic and Elder Dragon magic. And Des is just talking about how there is such a high percent that this reactor core is going to fail, so that's pretty curious. I'm not sure what the relationship there is. I mean, we've known that the reactor's got a lot to do with chaos magic for a long time, but... And we know that... Oh, wow, it's dissolving the floor and I'm dead. No, but this isn't good. This isn't good, because there's no way to res. If he just kills us, then that could be the end of our run. Oh, which would just be terrible. He's close to dying. Oh, God, they have to be very careful of this. I didn't notice that the floor was dissolving. I'm too busy talking about lore. Oh my god. Good luck, guys. There's 2 of them to finish this boss off. So yeah, and we to do with the Elder Dragons as well, we of course know that the Crucible of Eternity, built based off of this reactor, was entirely there as one of Kudu's experiments. Oh, so it's actually dissolving the floors that they walk on. So it's not random, it's just keep moving around. Kudu was experimenting with Elder Dragons. He created Subject Alpha, which was made of many of them. Has abilities, you know, suggesting the existence. Oh god, this is so cringeworthy seeing this guy. It feels like he's going to fall at any second. He needs to move further out. I'd be way off in the background, but I guess he might not have the range. Because back there, you've probably got more platforms that you can tread on. How's our other guy doing? He's fine. Oh, I guess it might be a debuff that appears on you. And only one person breaks the floor. In which case, maybe you do want to stay on the middle. Because this guy isn't breaking the floor. Oh, yeah, he is now. Oh, they both are. They both are. Okay. They're doing it. The Thormanova anomaly is going down. This is excellent. What does the anomaly look like, too? What is this meant to be? Is this something we're meant to be curious about? Also, the other big thing here to do with the Scarlet reveal is, what if we'd voted Abaddon? What if that is what we'd been seeing here? Would Scarlet somehow have been implicated there? How? I mean, if she was somehow relevant to that story, then it would have to be in a totally different way, because she couldn't have been alive there unless she's truly unlocked the ability to time travel. I'm very scared of what's going to happen when this boss dies and we're just dead here. Oh, we get a cutscene! And there's no significant sound effects to it, sadly. That might just be my client, because I have weird stuff muted, but still. Oh, there we go! Is that the end? Yeah, we can get rezzed up. We still had a collider to do, though. Are we really done? I guess it's a fractal, right? So it can't be that long. Actually, we only have one person left alive. That's hilarious. Okay, so I guess the final collider was probably, it's just you get a choice of which ones you want to do. Hey, I got a +1 agony infusion as well. That's very cool. What's happened to my rings, I wonder? Yeah, see, they already have an infusion in them. That's curious. Okay, cool. Well, so that's about it. I guess we'll walk into this crazy blob thing here, in this very bizarre looking room too, and this should transport us back out, I would assume, to the hub with Dessa.
The inquest involved, but I wasn't ready to watch my friends die. Chib weren't paragons of perfection, but they were good technicians. They deserved better than this. Being trapped in the moments leading to their own deaths, repeating it with every new fractal insertion, horrific. Watching them die was bad enough. I can only imagine how it must feel. I sincerely hope I never find out.
Welcome back. I'm sorry that was so crazy, but you handled it better than I could have. Chaos energy or dragon energy. Either way, Scarlet and the Inquest took this facility too far, too fast. I don't understand sacrificing every worker here and endangering the entire surrounding area. Then again, I'm not evil or crazy. At least we've got some good info to take back to the people of Lion's Arch. And that's not the only thing we're taking back. Dessa, you're coming with me. I've got a lot more questions that need answers.
I can't.
You're not under arrest, but I can't leave this machinery in Consortium hands. Now, do us all a favor and come quietly.
What? No way! She's leaving? But what happens? Is she just not going to be talking to us in the fractals anymore? Dessa, don't go! I always liked Dessa. Keel, I don't know about this. Well, she's just bailing. Keel, what do you have to say? Oh, she's got plenty to say. Okay.
Nice try, Dessa. I don't know what kind of mecha magical gizmo you're using, but you can't get away from us that easily.
I'm sorry. Have we met? Welcome to the Mistlock Observatory.
Oh!
So, are you interested in exploring the fractals?
You really don't recognize me, do you? You don't remember sending a team into the Thormanova reactor.
Thormanova? I've got friends on that crew, and from what I understand, it's not a safe place to visit. Or work.
Never mind.
Threat level minimal.
This is going to take some time to figure out. I'll be back, Dessa. Be here when I come.
Oh my god, that was
Not a problem.
awesome.
My life's work is here, and I couldn't leave it even if I wanted to.
I understand. At least, I think I'm starting to. My sincere apologies, citizen. Carry on.
I couldn't leave even if I wanted to. And that comment she said, I hope I never know what it's like to die. Like, who would have ambitions like that? Like, she's stuck in some kind of time paradox thing. That is crazy. That is so cool. Okay, let's speak to Ellen. She says, one of the main reasons I was elected to the Captain's Council was to investigate the Anomaly reactor disaster. The people want to know what caused one of the worst magical disasters in history. So that's her motivation, I guess. Pretty curious. What do you think we'll find? Oh, I could have asked this at the start, I suppose, but my party ran in. She says, I have my suspicions. The consortium controls access to the fractals, so as far as I'm concerned, the entire project is suspect. But the consortium doesn't run the fractals facility. We can say. She says, true, but I have to assume they still have a stake in it because they fund it. Historically, these greedy vermin are always up to something. Keeping an eye on them has become second nature to me. Do you really think they caused the Thormanova disaster? No, but I know for a fact they'll exploit it if they get the chance. I'm going to make sure they never do, but the first step is to find out exactly what happened. Okay. Why did you pick? I guess that's just gonna... why did you pick the Thormanova disaster to investigate? It had devastating environmental and magical impacts that no one understands. Also, Magnus and Levy agreed that the other Asura on the council would support it, and I was trying to win an election. See, we should have heard that at the time, but it's nice that they went back. I'm very happy. Is Lion's Arch taking over the Fractals project? No, well, no, not yet. Many on the council have never been comfortable with how it's been run. If I can establish a strong reason to do so, we can take steps to exercise more control over it. Curious. See, when they had more Fractals, I wondered if they'll extend this. No! I hate playing with other people. Oh, man. Okay, we'll go back in. I might miss my opportunity to speak to Dessa, though, at the end. And I can't redo the whole fractal. Do you know what? I'm stuck in the infamous Lion's Arch loading screen. There we go. Do you know what? I guess Dessa probably wouldn't have anything interesting to say anyway because she's caught in the time paradox. She'd probably say the same thing she would have said otherwise. So I'm going to leave that one there, guys. There you go. That's a bit of a run through one of the patches with me. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the lore, had a bit more perspective. And see, I get very excited about these patches, especially when there's stuff that pushes the story. Hope you enjoyed. Hope the theories start flowing. I guess they're making a real distinction here between chaos magic, dragon magic. Very, very interesting. I mean, chaos could mean so many things. In the first game, it was very much associated with Lyssa, one of the gods. Curious. Okay, well, thanks, guys. Let me know your theories. Let me know what you thought of the actual fractal itself and the mechanics. Apologies for any weird gameplay, but of course, this was my very first run-through ever. And I will see you next time. I'll probably do another video a little bit later when I've got about more general fractal stuff and how the new instabilities are going and stuff like that. In any case, thanks, guys. Have a wonderful evening.